Mr. Yellow Dick Swagger, how you doing, my man? The police thing, basically, I had a an animal control police officer show up, stating that they had a report that I was chaining a dog up and keeping it in a kennel. And the dog they had listed was Chevy, like a golden lab, and like, no, I don't have a lab. I have a mixed breed. And I went back and showed him Bongo, and I showed him Bailey, and I showed him the two cats and the condition they live in, what I feed them, and stuff like that. And he gave me a paper stated that it was a false police report. And Bongo was getting a little mistreated with the wife. She kind of neglected him. So when I went to pick him up from our house, he had like patches of skin missing on his back. He had like a really bad infection. Well, apparently he hadn't been getting his shots, and I had him tested for like parasites and heartworms and all the other stuff. And like he ended up having heartworms. Heartworms is a death sentence for a dog.
I was bored, so I was outside. I was shooting basketball, and this cat comes along. We had these 5-gallon buckets, and I'm basically trying to instill dominance over the kittens in our yard. So I took a 5-gallon bucket, and I was like, bloop, and I basically I left the bucket on top of him because the cat couldn't move the bucket, and he ended up dying under there. So it was like 5 or 6 years before I moved that bucket again. So we got the Kittens and Caboodles tapes, and during the Kittens and Caboodles tapes, they talk about how a cat always lands on their feet, and I wanted to test this out. So what I did is I went outside because we lived in a pretty rural area, and there was a cat, and the cat was on a picnic table. So I pushed the cat off the picnic table. Keep in mind, this is the smaller cat. This is a kitten, like a wild cat. It went and had kittens. So I pushed it off the table, and it kind of flipped around, and it landed on its feet. I'm like, wow, cool, it lands on its feet. So I pick it up, I throw it up in the air.
So I took this cat, and I kept throwing him up to see if he'd land on his feet. Well, eventually the cat broke its neck.
Oh my gosh. You guys ever put a dog to sleep?
Yes.
Yeah? How did you choose the time?
Rifle.
Yeah, well, we take them to the vet, and then they what they
Screw
did
that
with the
vet
last
shit.
dog.
You're gonna pay $70 for a $2 bullet.
That'll be okay.
I guess I'm more frugal than Kyle. I just cannot fathom paying $70 for somebody else to kill a dog.
I wonder if you think about the dog in the same way that I do. You don't go in the back of your subdivision by the swing set where 5 neighbors can see your yard and start killing your dog.
No, you take him to the swamp. You live in North Carolina. There's swamps in North Carolina. I guarantee it. There's one called Hunting Swamp. It's about 6 miles from here. There's a bridge. You go there, you let them out, you shoot them, let them draw right out into the swamp.
And then you let them, just fall into the swamp?
Fall into the swamp.
Yeah, I'm not doing it that way.
You gonna videotape you crying, Woody? So, I just had the most expensive trip to Waffle House ever. So I went to Waffle House, and on the way back I hit a deer with my truck. I spun his ass around. He was dead instantly. I think his lights just went out. Honestly. Was it scary? Nah, I was more pissed off than anything. Because now my truck has an accident on it. Yeah, the accident was in my new truck. And now I gotta come off $500 for a deductible. Yeah, the deer's dead as hell. Yeah, the deer died instantly. Dog, I hit the deer at like 60 miles an hour. No, he's dead. He's still the highway patrol had to come clean him up. Yeah. I walked back and took a picture of his ass. It almost ripped his head off. No, I get the deer mouth to mouth resuscitation. I'm just happy it was like a doe. It was like a little 70-pound doe. I don't know. I don't feel bad for that motherfucker. He's got the motherfucker gonna cost me $500. I don't give a fuck about the deer's family. I honestly don't. I'm over here upset that I went to get Waffle House and that shit's gonna cost me $500 extra. And I was over here thinking that I should like get a sticker with my truck's kill count in it. Everybody's like, deer life matters. And also, do you think the deer was placed in the road by trolls to stop you from getting Waffle House? Definitely doable.
That sounds plausible.
Yeah, it does. I'm surprised I didn't think of it myself. This had to be a troll setup. Why are you laying under the chair? What are you doing?
So yeah, I remember when she first came out. That's when the game was actually good.